Hey there, Green Thumbs and garden friends. My name's Kevin. I love gardening, and I had the distinct pleasure of being a horticulture teacher here in Northern California. And you think it's spring. It was 90 degrees just a few days ago. Now we've had some hail and some rain and some cool weather. I feel like we've had winter, spring, and summer all within a week or so of each other. But I'm going to show you a little tour of our garden, give you some garden updates on what we're growing, what we're planting, what we're harvesting, and all the things we're doing right now. So it's the beginning of May, and this is a very fun time out in the garden. So there's so much to do. There's a lot going on. It's a very fun and busy time, but we're in a little bit of a transition. So as you can see behind me, I've got a full garden here. We've got tomatoes and peppers in. We've got some other plants coming out. We just had a massive garlic harvest. I cannot wait to show you our garlic that we've harvested. And we've got a lot of potatoes, and they're finishing up. They've got a few more weeks, and then we're gonna pull them out, add some compost, and then replant for the summer and get some melons, some cucumbers, some basil, beans, whatever, added to these rows. So the garden is about halfway planted for the summer crop, but we still got about halfway to go. So let's take a look. All right, so as I mentioned, we've been harvesting a little bit and planting, but one of the crops that we've harvested just recently was some garlic, and I'm so thrilled at the results. We have rows here in our garden here. They're about 14, 15 feet long, give or take. We harvested 3 rows, so about 45 feet of garlic in double rows, so two rows of garlic in each row. So 90 feet of singular garlic. So 3 rows, it's pretty interesting. So let's take a look. So there's one row, there's another row, and then, oh my God, it's so heavy. And then here's the 3rd row. And so this is, I think, a California early garlic. So it's really, early May. We just harvested these. I hope you can see them if I get them in shot. They smell so good. We've been, we pulled them out. You can cure them out outside, but we have some space indoors where we kind of brought it. We have some good airflow. Got it out of the sunshine. Oh, so heavy. They smell so good. I wish you could smell this garlic. I cannot wait to eat it and make some garlic bread with the students. But what I found with the garlic is super easy to grow. Really, it takes a while. We planted these back in fall. We actually still have another row right here, probably in the front shot here. You can see just a little bit. They weren't ready to go. These ones were pretty close to being ready. I probably could have gave them another week or 2 or 3, to be honest, if I was really patient. But I was so excited to get some of our other plants in, and we're kind of limited on time, on when we can get things done. So sometimes you got to just bite the bullet and just go for it. Luckily, they're actually pretty big and juicy, and right now they're slowly curing. So we pulled them out. We're going to let them dry out slowly and cure for just a few weeks, and then we can cut some of this off or leave them braided or whatever, and then give them out and share them. But we knew that they were done, whereas this row right here wasn't done because these ones still have green leaves. They're flushed out. They're still growing. These ones, the leaves were dying. So the bottom half of the leaves, give or take, there's only a few at the top that were even green still. Most of them were dead and dying, and they looked a little withered. And so to me, that was it. We cut the water to them a little bit, gave them a few more weeks, and then now we pulled them out, and they're looking good. So garlic, 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 good to go. There's a closer example of some garlic that we've got growing. We actually have 2 different varieties here. I think a German red that right here you can see, and then another California garlic in the back. Like I said, these are planted back in fall. I think October, November time, and they're doing great. But these ones, for whatever reason, they're still going along. They weren't as ready as the other ones that I pulled. The other ones, you'd see all these lower leaves were all dead and brown. You can see a little bit of that starting here, but they were looking quite a bit different. And so these ones still have some time to go, and I'm hoping they're gonna grow and get big and get these nice big heads and cloves on there. I can't wait. So the next one we're looking forward to is our potato harvest. Now, we grow pretty intensively out here at the school, and so we try to have something almost in the soil at all times, give or take, whether it's a cover crop or something that we can enjoy. We planted about 5 different varieties of potato. You can see these ones are blooming. You ever seen a potato flower before? There it is. And they're actually beautiful. They're quite, and you can see they look very similar to like even a tomato flower or a pepper blossom, because they're closely related. They're in those solanums, the nightshade family, related to that deadly nightshade, the belladonna. But they are doing well, and so as they start to bloom, that's really telling me they're starting to kind of come to an end. It doesn't mean they're ready yet, but it's just a good indicator that the tubers are forming. You can see we had some heavy winds kind of knock some of those branches down. We've been mounding and adding additional soil around them, and so hopefully we'll get a good bumper harvest. But we have so many rows of potatoes, and hopefully we're aiming for the end of this month because we're running out of school days. You can see we got our tomatoes in, and so some of the things I'm doing right now in the garden, like I said, are planting. We're in zone 9 here, but we've had some really unusually cool weather. And so I noticed when we had the hot weather about a week or two ago, the tomatoes were like exploding in growth. Like you can see these ones over here, they're just growing so fast. And then now that it's cooled down to like mid to high 60s, they just really slowed down to a screeching halt. They're still growing. They're doing that. They're just really have slowed down. We got peppers here. I'm growing a lot of sweet peppers, a lot of bell peppers. We got purple, orange, yellow, red bell peppers. I cannot wait. They're gonna be delicious. And we had a lot of habaneros, jalapenos, serrano peppers, shishitos, Anaheims. We're growing quite a bit. So you can see we're doing like a variation of the Florida weave here. Last year I learned we just needed stronger twine and taller T-posts. So that's what we've got. So we try to learn a little bit. You can see I've got them spaced out pretty good. We've got them on 3-foot centers, but you can pack them in tighter. I think our tomatoes are about 2 feet apart. Some people go, 20 inches or 1.5 feet, and then, but so we're also, so you can do that, but a lot of potential fun in there. You can see, look at this alyssum. If I had to say one flower you can add to your vegetable garden for enjoyment, look at that white and purple alyssum just cascading over those rocks. And the viola is gorgeous too, but that alyssum is just, oh man, it catches our eye. I just love it. So really looking forward to that. The one thing I was talking about earlier in our intro is that it's a transition period. So not only are we harvesting and getting ready to plant new veggies, but you can see these beautiful snapdragons, especially in this back corner. They're loving this cool weather. We had a couple 90-degree days a week or two ago, and it really roasted them out. And so once things warm up, some of the transition that I'll be doing is taking out some of these annuals and biannuals. And all these little flowers here that we have around the border, they'll come out, we'll compost them, and they'll replace them with sunflowers and cosmos and marigolds and zinnias and all these warm season loving flowers. Whereas right now, these snapdragons look gorgeous right now, but once it warms up, they're just not gonna be super happy and they'll start looking really bad. But right now they're doing great. So until then, we're just gonna prepare. But like I said, sunflowers, all these great flowers that do love the heat, those are ones we're gonna sneak in here. So you can see our potato patch over here is looking pretty decent. Not perfect. We had some frost damage earlier in the season. It kind of stunted them a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. For the most part, I think we're gonna get a pretty good harvest. So we've been adding a lot of compost to each of these rows. So every time we pull a row out, we had some carrots in here not too long ago. And this is where the garlic was as well. We pulled it out, we just forked it. We added in some compost from our compost pile. And we also added in a lot of earthworm castings from our vermicompost. Now you've probably already noticed this black plastic sheet over here. Now all the seasoned green thumbs are gonna know what I'm doing here. We had a little patch. You can see all the weeds out here around the orchard. They're fine. We kind of grind them back and just keep them off the fruit trees. But I noticed some weeds kind of making their way towards the garden. So I grinded them down with the weed trimmer, and then we covered them up. Right now we're smothering them and kind of solarizing them a bit and cooking them out. And I'll show you, I'll do an update video of that to kind of show it off, to show you that even in cool weather like this, how effective the smothering and the solarizing can be, even given a shorter amount of time. It's awesome. Oop, just stepped in a puddle. Yikes, I'm gonna have a wet foot all day. That's how a gardener's life. But so yeah, a lot to do. We've been fertilizing all of our fruit trees. This is a great time to prune back some of your citrus trees before that fruit starts to set. Any dead disease growth, unwanted growth, a lot of suckers come from the base and then shoot their way to the top. It's a good time to get those gone, but I wish you could smell it. So earlier we had the garlic, but right now we've got the citrus blossom. These are orange blossoms, and they smell, oh my gosh, I wish my son was here. He would love that. They smell so sweet and good. So fertilizing your fruit trees, updating your irrigation system, adding mulch wherever you can, and then just getting on top of the weeds. Yesterday I was out here in a little bit of a rain, and there were a little patch of Bermuda grass all through here, and it was just kind of starting to kind of take hold, and I don't like it because it'll make its way into our garden, so I just kind of grinded a lot of it out. I'll come back and do a little bit more. So right now is a fantastic time. Not only are you harvesting, planting, adding compost, but really it's not just the solarizing, but just whether it's by hand or by tool, whatever means that you prefer, get those weeds knocked back. Now, you're probably never going to eradicate the weeds in your garden fully, but it's more about making it manageable, giving your plants a fighting chance, and really just reducing the weed pressure on your garden. So right now, before things really catapult into the warm season, get after those weeds early and often, and I think you'll find it that it's a good investment. Whereas if you wait, then you're kind of left out on your own, and you're like, man, the weeds are now thick and they seem unbeatable at that point. So get to them early and often, get them ripped out. Like I said, any irrigation, this is a great time when you have problems with your irrigation or you need to update it, whether it's drip tubing or in your bed here. It's a great time. So recently we just were playing with our new little container garden over here, and I want to show you guys this. This is so awesome. Look at these purple peas. They're so good. I've been eating them every day with my lunch, and they are awesome. They look vibrant and purple, and they taste so good. I'm telling you, friends, they're awesome. But we have these container pots, these smart pots, and they breathe really well. And at the couple, week of really hot weather, I noticed the plants were like, ooh, I'm a little dry now. So we've now updated them. We've got irrigation all the way to each one. We just added into the main line, brought it in the back here. You can see, and then it just comes up. We've got little drip tubes. We might even add in a few micro sprays, micro sprays, bubblers, shrubblers. It's been a long week. You can see even some of our herbs, like here we have some parsley. It's starting to go to seed. And so I might actually just cut this back real hard, clean it up, and then take some of this material over to the worms and feed my worms. The herbs are doing good, but yeah, irrigation, and also fertilize. We use organic fertilizer out here. This is a great time to kind of, on day to day, not every day, but as you're checking your garden and you realize, if you look at your calendar, and might be time for you if you haven't done it for a while, depending upon what kind of fertilizer you use. It's really important to just feed those plants, especially like in a garden like this where it's really intense, really heavy gardening. We whether it's the compost, earthworm castings, chicken manure, and then some organic matter, fish kelp or fish emulsion and sea kelp, all that kind of gets added in at some point. And so this is a really great time to get into your garden. Hopefully you're having a little bit of harvest success, but also look forward to the future. If you haven't started your garden yet, it's I think here in Northern California, we're gonna have a big long season. And so if you haven't started yet, it's okay. If you have nothing in the ground, that's okay. We still I have plenty of tomatoes that are in my greenhouse right now getting ready, and I have to wait for some of these plants to come out, like these last little rows of garlic and a few other plants, and to get them in. And so if you haven't started yet, it's not too late to plant, get some flowers out there. Here's another example of some flowers that look good now, but are soon gonna go the wayside because of the heat, right? So we have these beautiful pansies here. We had some viola earlier, and they look great. But once it gets above 80, 85, 90, 95, they're just not gonna be happy. So these will come out, marigolds, zinnias, cosmos, sunflowers, all that. They'll go in their place and hopefully bring in some pollinators and give us some beauty as well. But that's about it for today, garden friends. There's so much to do out in May, even more than I've listed. I hope you're doing well in your gardens. Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you, what your tips, tricks, and ideas are as well. I'm here to learn. I know I share some things, but I'm truly, this channel is all about learning. I love to learn. And there's so many amazing gardeners and green thumbs out there. I'm just happy to be one of them. Until next time, garden friends, happy gardening to you all, and please never stop growing. All right, time to get to work.